So you're thinking of going to Medellin, Colombia, and this will be your first time there? Check out this video. We're talking with Strill Life, Big Strilla, Strilla from Houston, Texas. His first time to Medellin, and you're going to hear about it. Follow along.
Hey, you watching, man? Right now, you're watching dcbornrob on YouTube.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located, and thanks for watching. My name is dcbornrob. I go by Rob, DC Rob, but my name is Rob Christian. I'm a vlogger specifically on Colombia, but anywhere in the world. You know, my whole goal is to get you out there traveling anyway. So get your passport if you don't have it yet. Get out there. All you brothers and sisters need to do that. And I don't mean black brothers and sisters. I mean Hispanic, Canadian, French, whatever you are. Hit the road. It changes who you are. So today I have a special guest that is joining me. Strill, Big Strilla from Houston, from H-Town, in the city I am. And go figure, we are Zooming and we're in the same town. Well, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, man. I'm truly honored and look forward to doing this broadcast with you.
Hey, man, I'm glad to have you here. I've seen a few of your videos, and for those who may not know him, you're doing pretty well as a vlogger. I see you got like 1.3 K right now.
I just hit 1.3, yes.
That's
like
phenomenal, man. When did you start, by the way? When did you start vlogging?
I started my vlogging channel maybe two or 3 years ago. But I've been in video production probably for the better part of the last 15, 20 years, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I just decided to go that direction because the other ventures I was doing in video weren't financially viable. I enjoy doing video production, but it wasn't really paying off. So, I had to rethink and do everything. So I was like, what can I do? I like to travel. I like telling stories. I like movie making. So that's how I came up with the idea to do the travel vlog. And it's not only travel, but I do tech reviews, lifestyle, a little bit of real estate as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. And we talked a while ago. I think you either reached out to me, but I saw some of your videos locally, because doesn't matter, whoever you are, if you subscribe to my channel or you make a comment, I will take a look and see what your videos are. And of course, if I have interest, I go ahead and subscribe myself. So I subscribe to your channel. And I called him Inspector Gadget, man. He's out flying drones, and he's got all different type of cameras and gadgets. And hopefully you'll learn a little bit about it from his channel as well. But the reason I brought you on today is because Medellin, Colombia, because that's what I focus on. That's what I've been focusing on for the past 2 years. Of course, on top of travel everywhere, but Medellin is my love. That's my heart. And this was your first trip, just as the video is entitled, First Time to Medellin. This was your first time to Medellin, correct?
Right. Yes. First time to South America, first time to Colombia, first time to Medellin. Yes. Really?
What other countries have you been to?
I've been to my first international trip, real international trip, was to Costa Rica, and that was about 10 years ago. So needless to say, my passport is up for renewals next year. So I went to Costa Rica, been to Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Thailand. I went to Thailand for a month in 2018.
Okay.
Where else? Jamaica. And I think that's it. So I still consider myself a new travel person, traveler, international traveler.
Okay. Thailand's a big one, though. That's still on my list, my go-to list.
Oh, man, you're going to love it. You'll love it.
I know. I know. It's on the list, but next year I think I want to do Africa. I've been trying to get to Africa for a long time, so I haven't been. So
yeah, me too. I want to make it to Africa as well.
Okay, so this was your first time to Medellin, your first time to Colombia. What did you think? What did you think when you landed? I mean, what's that feeling? First of all, if you are going to a place like Medellin, chances are you watch videos of people who are there or have been there, such as my channel, other maybe Carlton or whoever else. You see who's there. And so you get excited the more you get closer to that date. So I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you get off the plane. What did it feel like when you got off the plane, got through security, and walked out into the world?
Oh, man, it was exciting because, as you know, Colombia has a lot of regulations to get in and out the country. Sometimes you might need something, other times you might not. So it was nerve-wracking up to the point to getting on the plane because, before they had the PCR test to go there. and they canceled that. You know, they unlocked it far as Medellin, far as it opening up and curfew and everything. So I was like, you know, I was scared I was gonna get stopped, and they'd be like, you know, you can't get on a plane because you don't have this. Because everybody's like, well, they changed everything overnight. But once I got on the plane, got everything, I was excited. It was raining when I touched down. I was a little hesitant. I would have gone to Medellin sooner, but my Spanish isn't that good, you know. So I tried to kind of brush up on my Spanish, but it still wasn't great. But I was like, you know, everything was opening up. I hadn't been everywhere because of the pandemic situation. So I was like, what the hell? I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it opened up, you know, I was like, I haven't been anywhere. I got vaccinated. So I was like, let me get out of here. I need to go see the world, spread out again. But
Okay,
it was really exciting. You know, you always, when you go to a new place, you just don't know, you know, so you get there, you don't know if you're going to be able to function, like the language barrier, getting through customs, but all that, you know, wasn't no big deal. I had your guy set up a car for me to pick me up, Andreas, from the airport. So he picked me up, not him, but one of his workers picked me up, took me to my place. It was, you know, pretty smooth.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Andres is my man. He's my man for tours. He's my man for airport pickups, drop-offs. You want to go take a COVID test on your way back? He's my guy. His information is always in the description of my video. So I'm glad you reached out to him too. And a percentage of the proceeds goes to my charity there, which is Comuna Ocho. Okay. And that is the El Faro neighborhood. So for all those, you included, a small percentage goes to that charity. And times are rough for a lot of people there. So I'm going to ask you shortly, but I'm sure you ran into something while you were there that was a little challenging to see. Okay. But you mentioned you speak a little Spanish. How much Spanish do you speak?
Oh, very little. All the Spanish I know is learned off of Duolingo. Okay. Yeah, I didn't take it in high school. I took French thinking I was going to be Don Juan or something, you know. So, you know, living in Texas, it's almost a prerequisite that you know Spanish or take Spanish, and like a full, you know, I don't know where my mind was back then, but I didn't learn it. So all I've learned has been off of Duolingo, maybe some YouTube videos and stuff like that. I watched some stuff for kids, you know, like how to count and things like that, like, you know, basic, super basic things. So, and it was enough as like shopping, stuff like that, like I want this, I want that, or where's the bathroom, you know, donde es the baño, stuff like that, you know, basic things, but it was enough to help me get by while I was there. Now, as far as talking to the ladies, that's a different story.
Yeah, I saw a video. I think you were on the top of your building and you went up to a little party and you were talking. You were like, I don't know what she's saying. Or she don't know what I'm saying. So, you know, there's three things I teach people or try to inform people before you go down. Three things you must do. Number one, learn Spanish. Number two, learn Spanish. Number three, learn Spanish. The struggle is real. Yeah. So I advise you to. Out of being there, how many people would you say that you met that were Colombian that spoke English to you?
Not many. They're mostly in positions where they work for places like my Airbnb, like they had a few people that worked there that could speak Spanish. A lot of them didn't, but some of the, I guess in the concierge part of it, you know what I'm saying, they could speak a little bit of English and pretty good English, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the lady would tell me to slow down, but in general, her English is okay. But in general, there's not much English spoken there.
Believe it. Yeah. I tell people 95% of them don't speak English. And out of that 5% left, a few may speak it, but they don't feel comfortable with it, so they don't even try. Right. And they'll be embarrassed, like, oh, my English. I'm like, no, keep speaking it because my Spanish is terrible. Like, your English is on point, you know, like. Exactly. You need the help when you get there. Let me rattle off a few questions to you and see if we can get through some real quick. Like, okay, so you got to the airport. You got to the city via Andres and one of his, remember Andres has a tour company. So a lot of times he's on the back of the hill somewhere or in a waterfall somewhere. So he sends someone else. He has a team of people that comes out and gets you. But so we know how you got to town. What part of town did you stay in?
I stayed in Laureles. about a block from La Setenta, at this place called Indie Studios. It's a co-living spot where they only do month rentals or longer. And basically it's kind of like it's a little bit above, a step above a hostel because you have your own room and your own bathroom, but it's not a lot of space, you know what I'm saying? But it suited my needs for what I needed while I was there. And I enjoyed it, my stay.
You were there the whole time at the Airbnb?
Yes.
Oh, is it called an Airbnb?
I rented it through Airbnb. I'm not sure what other methods they have as far as filling up their place, but I use Airbnb to book. Okay,
so and that's a question then. Why did you use an Airbnb instead of a hotel?
For one, the cost difference is a big thing. Airbnb was a lot cheaper, especially if you find like a co-living spot over there. They're a lot less expensive. And in the Laureles, I don't know about Poblado, but the co-living's popping up everywhere along there. So they're affordable. You can get a place from like $15 to $20 a day. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely helps your money go further. And I picked this place because it was catered to digital nomads, creators, and things like that. So I was like, I saw it as a networking opportunity to go, because I had a friend, another YouTuber that was there and was going to show me around, but he wasn't going to be there long. That's Prestigious Physiques. And he was like, maybe going to be there a week or two after I got there. So he was kind of showing me around, saying, well, I want to be around other people kind of doing the same thing I'm doing on some level. So, you know, I could kind of network and have people to do things with.
Okay. And, so that place in your video is where you were staying, where you went up to had a rooftop party?
Correct. Yes.
That looked nice. I don't remember the room. I thought it was just a regular Airbnb. I'm not even familiar with co-living spaces because I just hotel Airbnb.
Basically, it was either an old hotel or a old apartment building that they bought, and they just kind of repurposed it. You know, kind of they had a vision in their mind of what they wanted to do with it, and they brought it to fruition. And it's a young crew that's doing it. I see they're in their late 20s, early 30s, maybe. And they also have some new properties that they plan to bring online in Medellin. The guy said he's also about to do something in Miami as well. So they're doing big things. Okay.
You said it was raining when you landed. How was the weather overall?
The first, I say half a week or so, it was raining like every day. You know, it either rained in the morning or at night. But after the first week, it was like sunny weather, no rain. And it is the winter time there right now. So I was expecting, you know, people say, oh, it's going to rain every day. It may rain a little, it may rain, you know, a lot, but it usually clears up. And that's pretty much what happened. But then it just stopped raining. It just sunny weather for the 3 out of the 4 weeks I was there. 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah, Laureles is actually beautiful too. And that's the main thing I like about it. So I have my list of favorites about Medellin and why I went there and why I didn't go to Bogota, why I didn't go to Cartagena.
Right.
Because I love Medellin that much. And then I built up friends and everything was just clicking for me while I was there.
Right.
So, but if you had to list your top 3 things about Medellin, Colombia, what would they be?
Okay. The weather would be the top of the list, right? Of course. The cost of living would be number 2. And I had to throw the women in there as the third, you know. You know, I'll just say the people in general are beautiful people. They're friendly, they're accommodating. And you know, a lot of people try going into this, a lot of people are trying to put doom and gloom in my mind. It's dangerous, don't go, you're gonna get robbed, this, that, and other. And so I had my apprehensions, but once I got there, I didn't feel all that. Of course, I was, you know, wary and kind of halfway on my guard, but in general, I didn't feel like threatened or people plotting on me or anything like that.
Okay. Well, you just answered my next question. Did you feel safe there?
I did. There's a few situations maybe where I didn't feel safe. And that was, you know, being a YouTuber with camera gear and things like that, it's kind of different than maybe just a regular tourist, you know, there. So so sometimes I'll be out shooting stuff and I might not feel comfortable, or especially like parky areas, area, you know what I'm saying? You're out there trying to shoot, it's kind of iffy, you know.
Yeah. I would recommend that if you are by yourself and you are a YouTuber, or you're by yourself and you just want to film, don't. Not by yourself. Not, it's not, I mean, I was there, what, 3 months ago? I didn't get the warm and fuzzies that I did a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I especially when you were there, because they were having the I don't want to call it a riot.
The protest?
Protest. That's the word I was looking for. It wasn't a riot, protest. So yeah, I saw those videos and they were kind of, it was different from your previous videos there. And you were definitely a resource for, you know, my whole trip, that as far as my reconnaissance and stuff. And I think that's kind of how I set up my videos, where I want to be informative. It's not just entertainment. I kind of want to show people from a first-time visitor there, because that's literally what I was. So I'm showing you the steps, me going to the bank, me getting food, me talking to people. So that's kind of how I set it up. And I think it's been pretty successful. I've been getting a lot of feedback from people that are going, like, hey man, I appreciate your videos. I'm going next week. I'm going next month. And so I feel good about that. Okay,
so let's touch on that then. You became a YouTuber, or you became a travel vlogger during this trip. So what I want to do is just show a bit of your video right here. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so and you see the main thing I liked about your videos is the editing. I get into the editing part of it. I try to be as professional as possible. Your videos, and I started rough with a cell phone, moving around, drinking. I was all, you know, on the patio, man. You go back and look at my old videos from when I lived there, and you probably get sick. Okay. But somebody told me, if you're going to do it, just start. Just start where you are. You'll figure out everything. Then you need a mic. Now you need a tripod. Now you need a light. And for all these people who think YouTubers make a lot of money, think again, you don't until you know, 10, 20, 30 and above thousand.
Yeah, it's a hard grind to get there for sure.
And the editing is part of it. And I'm sure you can tell people who want to do it, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
If you want to be, you know, if you don't want to just sit in front of a camera and talk, that's the one thing, because you can sit there, you can do the take, you can upload it, whatever you got to do. Right. But when you start editing and you taking the clips and adding the music and then figuring out the music and making sure you're not walking by a restaurant that got music playing and get a copyright strike,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you advise to anyone who wants to go there or anyone else or any other place and travel blog? Any advice for them?
Yeah, like you said, you just gotta do it. A lot of people ask me like what camera I use, what computer. I'm like, hey man, don't worry about that. Don't get expensive cameras and stuff like that. Start with your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like my I don't know if you've gone back in my catalog on my channel, but my Puerto Vallarta trip I took, I shot that mostly with my phone. A lot of my Thailand trip I shot with my phone, and I had cameras on both those trips, but it was just more practical to shoot with my phone, you know, with the technology I had at the time. You know, my cameras were bulky, they're big, they draw attention to you, as you might know. When you're out there, you got a big old expensive blogging setup, especially somewhere like Medellin. You don't, not the way it is at this current moment. You don't want to be out there with a Casey Neistat big, you know, Joby Gorilla Pod with a Canon on it with a boom mic, you know, shotgun mic on it and stuff like that, because it just draws too much attention. I use a lot of pocket gimbal cameras, like the Femi Palm, the Pocket, the DJI Pocket 1 and 2, things like that. And they're small. You can put them in your pocket, pull them out real quick. And so they're discreet, but they shoot steady video. They keep the horizon level with the gimbal and things like that. That's a little more advanced. You move up to it, but I tell people start with your phone, edit on your phone or your computer, because a lot of people will go out there and buy all this equipment. And I was like, don't spend all the money if you don't know if this is for you or not, because you'll sit down with the editing process and be like, man, this is some BS. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if this is for me, you know what I'm saying? And me personally, I used to do a TV show, Access TV show, and it was like long format, about 30-minute shows I would do. So I was used to doing that, and I just like telling stories and, you know, movies and progression of a storyline or whatever. So I kind of take that to what I'm doing now. And you know, YouTube's cool because you don't have to be as long. You know what I'm saying? It could be shorter, longer. So just trying to find the right length to make videos and stuff. It's fluid. You know what I'm saying? Each video is different. And somebody starting out, like, I say, take your phone, like, make a movie. You going to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'm about to go buy some bacon and eggs or whatever it is, you know, and come and put it together, you know, see if you like it, you know, if you can tell a story like that. Because, you know, people think that you got to have all this equipment and then you buy it. And then if you don't, you know, the videos don't make themselves. Just because you got a nice camera and an expensive computer doesn't mean that it's going to spit out a great movie, you know what I'm saying? A great video. So.
And even on top of that, then comes the keywords, the description, you know, trying to get your video seen, because you can create a dynamite video, but if nobody sees it, you know, it's going to be challenging. And then stick with one thing I would recommend people also, because, you know, if I put out a video on, like I'm still posting and editing Europe videos, barely get any views, because my viewers are, you know, watching or know me from Medellin, Colombia. So, right, you know, in turn, they'll get the views, but not like they would if I were to post news from Medellin, Colombia.
Yeah, I just saw you post something about Greece, and I didn't get the update or the notice, because I guess the algorithm just like, okay, this doesn't perform well. It's not really pushing it out. You know, I just had to kind of go look and see what's going on your page, you know. Before we met, I was like, well, let me see what Rob's been up to. And I thought, oh, shoot, I didn't even know he dropped these. I didn't get any updates, you know what I'm saying? And that's the tricky thing about YouTube. A lot of stuff you do, it may get picked up or it may not. It just all depends. And
it's on a different album too. It's not in my Medellin. So if you get the ones from Medellin, you wouldn't see those from those two. But it is challenging. But I would say if anybody wants to do it, like Strill said, don't go out and buy expensive cameras and brand new Mac and try to do this. And if you're going to do it outside of the country, research the country you're going to go to. And again, don't do it by yourself. Have somebody with you, because when you're holding up a camera, no matter how small, because I'm using my Osmo Action now and I love it, and it's small and it's got the image stabilization in it, which is important. But somebody's still watching me. And while I'm looking at myself and talking and looking at the background, somebody come and hit me on the back of the head and I don't know. So don't get got. Anybody can
Right.
get got. For those who think, oh man, they gonna happen to me. Man, let me tell you something. Anybody can get got some kind of way. And Medellin got its issues. A lot of, I mean, we're in Houston, man. You know, we cut on the news in the morning, how many people got killed, husband killed, wife killed, kids. It's, I mean, it's straight nuts. And that's why I don't watch the news, number one. The best thing about being there too, you watch the news, you don't know what the hell's going on anyway.
Right. You just seeing pictures and a whole bunch of blabber. You don't know what's going on. Yeah.
You can figure it out.
It's refreshing, man. Like I saw someone else talking about that recently. Like once you leave here, you're not hearing all the red and blue, you know what I'm saying? All the back and forth, this, that, and the other, the anti this, the pro that, you know, it just kind of melts away and you don't see that, you know what I'm saying? Then when you kind of look back on your phone to see what's going on, you're like, you just put it down. Like, it's like, I don't want to be bothered with that foolishness.
Exactly.
And I'm not sure how that is in other countries. Like if people, I know they had a protest and stuff like that, but you just don't really see it like here, you know, the drama behind, you know, the doom and gloom of the news and stuff.
Exactly. It's not as divisive. And especially if you can't understand what's going on, you wouldn't know anyway until you see a protest out front of your house.
Right.
Did you make it over to Sweet Georgia Cafe?
I did. I watched a couple of the final playoffs there. And I got a quick interview with Rob. It's coming up. Eventually I'll get it out there. But yes, I went to the one in, was it Berlin or Laureles? Yeah, I didn't get to go to the one in Poblado. But yeah, a lot of people showed up over there to watch the NBA games.
Yeah, out back.
Out back.
Out back where there's no roof.
No, actually in the front. It was like,
in front. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was in the actual restaurant area. I didn't know there was an Outback there.
Oh yeah, that was my spot, man. That was my spot. Whenever there was live entertainment, a barbecue, or whatever, you go through that little door to the left, and that goes around. You know, he also rents the rooms out up top also as Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going for your first time, and I tell people this all the time, get by Sweet Georgia Cafe. It is a resource center for you.
Yes.
You will meet like-minded travelers like yourself. You will get the resources that if you're thinking about moving, maybe you're thinking about just coming in 6 months out of the year. Maybe you want insurance, man. I mean, all this information is there. If you are military and you want to speak to somebody in the military, all those resources are there. I don't know how he did it to get the food to taste like it does, man. The chicken wings, man, them chicken wings, the garlic parmesan, man.
Yeah, the food is tasty for sure.
Yes, I don't know how he can get, and a lot of them are Venezuelan too. How do they cook the mac and cheese? Come on, man, how they do that? Like it's coming from North Carolina somewhere. But I'm glad you made it by. I would definitely recommend to anybody, if you are going to Medellin, Colombia, make sure you get by Sweet Georgia Cafe, either location, Laureles or Poblado. Poblado is about 2 blocks, a block and a half from Poblado Park, Parque Poblado, and no more than 7-8 blocks from Parque Lleras. And everybody's going to Parque Lleras, so just walk on down, get some good food, and then walk up to Lleras at night, because you got to do that part of it.
And you're not official until you get you a Medellin Crew T-shirt from there.
Get your Medellin Crew. And you got to put a picture of that up too.
Yes, sir.
So while you were there, did you do any other experiences other than staying in the city? Did you go to Botero? Did you go to El Centro? I mean,
yes, I went to El Centro, got to see the Botero statues and stuff like that. My camera stopped working on me like right when I was touring them. So I missed like all the statues. I was like, oh man. Also went to Tres Cruces.
Tres Cruces, you walked that?
Yeah, I went up there.
Oh man, that was a rough one, boy. I got a video on that.
It's treacherous, man.
Man, it's not regular stairs and it's not smooth mountain. It's short, big, yeah.
Don't go up there with like some slick shoes. Like, you know, you gotta have some good tread, and you know, how those people just bouncing up and down it. I'm like, man, like they some billy goats or something. Like, I bust my butt one time, but and I'm thankful that's all I did, you know, because there's potential to really get hurt up bad.
you made it though. That's
I made it. Yes.
Did you go with a tour, or you went by yourself?
I went with this gentleman that I met there. met at this cafe, and he was like a real nature type guy. He was always going somewhere, the botanical gardens, this, that, and other. But our schedules were kind of, didn't mesh up a lot of times. So that day it happened to do it. He wanted some drone footage of him doing some stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll take my drone up there and, we get some shots. And he showed me around. So it worked out.
Yeah, cool. That walk is no joke. And coming back down, when I did it, we went in the afternoon. Go in the morning if you can, because we went in the afternoon, and I knew on the way up, wait a second, it may be a little dark. Yeah. And it got dark halfway down the mountain, and it got dark quick because the sun sets over the mountain. It gets dark real quick.
I don't know how you did that.
I got video. It was sketchy.
I saw it, but I now that I think back, no, I wouldn't want to do that without proper lighting. It's treacherous with the light.
I got you.
Yeah, shoot, you got to scoot down on your butt on the way back with no light.
Oh, it was sketchy for real. So could you see yourself living there?
I could actually. The thing is, it's so hard to stay there for extended periods of time that I think that dashes a lot of people's not experience, but their hopes there, because I know you can only stay there 6 months at a time, a year. And I know a lot of people they'll go from July to December, or how does that work? June to December, and then they can stay a whole year from January to June or whatever. So if you do it like that, but then you got to wait a whole another 6 months before you can go back. So I think they're trying to work on a digital nomad visa now there, so that people that that are on the gig economy and the work through their laptops and stuff can stay there longer. And if they do something like that, I'm hoping that maybe I can go back and stay for an extended period of time. But yeah, because there's so many people that go there and they get, you're just crushed because dang, I can't stay longer than I want to. I saw Life with David. He had a kiosk in the mall or whatever, and then they said that didn't qualify for a visa after a while. So I don't know. It's difficult if you're not retired, to stay there.
Or you can get a student visa. You can do it year by year. And I know people, and then you get your schedule. And there's a couple people I know of that has been there for years on a student. I mean, it must be on a long school plan or something. But
yeah, see, you can take that angle. I forgot about that. Yeah, the student. I guess you could learn Spanish or something. I don't know. You could be crafty to figure ways out, but I don't know.
Spanish is a good way too. They take go to, what is it, EFIT? Take the Spanish classes, do at least a year or something like that. The hours, I mean, they're long. If you still have to work, I work from there. So if you still have to work and doing 4 hours of Spanish a day, and they can get a bit challenging, but yeah, I don't know. There's ways around that too, I'm sure.
Right.
But anyway, Big Strill, thanks for coming on the show, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with my viewers while you're here?
So I just say check out my content. I'm glad that you endorsed me and brought me on the show. You know what I'm saying, and you felt what I was doing was worthy that people get wind of. So I appreciate it. Besides that, I just say go to Medellin, check it out. Just make sure the climate's right. Politically and things going on with the pandemic and stuff like that. A lot of people were telling me not to go because the Delta variant was out of control, this, that, and other. And I come back here and it's worse in Texas and Florida than I think over there. And that's another point I wanted to point out is that maybe they're not as far along as far as vaccines and things like that as we are, but they seem to all to be moving in one direction there, whereas here there's so much division and that, and we're suffering as a country because of it. Yep. Whereas there, it's like, hey, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do. And everybody kind of moves with that plan. And I think it helps more. So I don't feel like I saw all that division with that there. People wore their masks, they did what they have to do in public, and the step-on machines to get the stuff for your hands, you know what I'm saying? Every restaurant and store, they really seem like they had their protocols together for that.
Exactly. And their numbers are actually going down after all that hell they went through for 3 months to 6 months ago to 9 months ago.
Right.
You know, and shutting everything down. When they finally opened everything up, it just worked out where they started doing more vaccines and people are actually taking the vaccine. There is no red or blue. There's no Democrat or Republican. Anytime I hear that conversation, you know, when people use those words here, they're picking a side.
Right.
And I'm not even going to touch on it myself. All I can say is I'm vaccinated and I just got back from Europe and I'm going somewhere else. And I'm being careful on top of that because, you know, the biggest part is when you leave this country, that's all well and fine. Colombia's not testing or, you know, your vaccination card gets you in a lot of places. What about coming home? Right. You know, you could possibly lose your job if you do get the virus, even if you don't feel sick. Next thing you know, you don't feel well and you trying to get to Tijuana. Trust me, I already planned that out. I would do it if I had to. Lose my job because of this, but
that was a lot of food for thought. I mean, you did that video right before I left. You know, you did the one, don't get got and don't get sick and get stuck over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, hey, they're rolling back the restrictions and everything like that, you know, but don't let that get you caught up, you know. Exactly.
You're down there, you're socializing and you think you're being smart. You wear your mask, you wear your mask, you wear your mask. And then all of a sudden you hook up with somebody, you don't wear a mask. And that's the time you get it. And guess what? You ain't coming home. You ain't coming home. They ain't playing at the border, man. They are not playing right now. You can get there, but you ain't getting back, man. So that just be aware of it. It's possible. So this is the whole reason I'm not trying to be Dr. Doom and tell people you're going to get got or you're going to get stuck like Chuck. I'm just giving you the other side of the coin that you need to think about. You know, more information, you can make better decisions. So I'm just trying to pass that information on.
Yeah, it was definitely good information because I actually ended up catching a head cold there, and you know that in the back of your mind you're thinking like, oh man,
I ain't coming home.
Yeah, you know, I was like, I gotta leave in a week and a half, and like I hope this ain't you know that dreaded word. But yeah, I just want to give you a big shout out too, man. Your reach is far, man. I ran into so many people there that watch your content and love what you're doing. And it's not all Black folks, you know, different across the spectrum. They're like, hey, you know, DC Rob, he told me to do this, that, and I'll watch stuff. So big shout out to you and what you're doing for Medellin and the travel community.
Much appreciated, man. I want everybody to travel, man. I truly believe it changes who you are for the better. Get out and learn other cultures, but be safe and make it home. That's what it's about for me anyway. So I'm just passing it on.
For sure. And definitely. And if, like you said, if you try and get into this travel vlogging thing, it's an extra layer of security that you got to think about, you know, because you're out there and, you know, that's the whole thing, you know, you've done all those series on the scopolamine. And so like in back of my head, I'm like, man, you know, people know I've gone there and like, I don't want to be one of those sad stories, like, you know, all drug and all my stuff got, you know, taken and, you know, so the back of my mind, I was like, you know, you got to play it safe. You still want to have fun and do things, but you still don't want to be one of those horror stories that you hear from over there. So I appreciate you for the awareness of that, because, you know, you still see people stories of those trickling, you know, week to week about, you know, somebody else that got caught up.
Yep. It's happening every day, whether we know it or not. It just doesn't make the news. People are getting got every day. It's just not a big deal. So it doesn't make the news there. So I can't tell you about it if they don't report. Because
and people be embarrassed, you know, like
especially that. Yeah, they don't want to say.
Right.
So anyway, so be careful, Big Strilla, man. Strill, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody go check out his channel, Strill Life. Look him up, STRILL Life. Check out his videos on Medellin. I'm telling you, his editing is good. His content is good. If you are going to Medellin, get to see it from a firsthand perspective from somebody who actually went for the first time.
Right.
Who did it right.
I appreciate it. And I'm still dropping content. So I still got a lot from that trip that I got to put out. So y'all keep watching, and I appreciate everybody that tunes in and, you know, subscribes to the channel and leaves a comment or whatever you do, however you interact.
Absolutely. Participate. Show them some love, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks, Big Strilla. We're going to cut it out here. We'll see you on the next time, man.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, brother.
We have a YouTube channel. Like it.
Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe and kick the bell.